All right, let's jump right into today's explainer. We're demystifying the academic landscape to help you shape your research and ultimately your career. We've talked a lot before about publishing papers, right? Well, today we're actually taking a step back. We need to look at the bigger picture, how to truly get to know your specific scientific community. Because understanding the academic context of your research, that doesn't just validate why your work is important, it literally charts the course for your entire future. So grab your compass, we are going mapping.
So, how do you find your place in science? It's a huge question, right? When you first step into any research domain, it can feel, honestly, totally overwhelming. It's like standing at the base of this massive mountain of literature with thousands of unseen researchers working in the shadows. To tackle this, we really need to adopt the mindset of an explorer. You aren't just reading papers here, you're drawing a map of uncharted territory. And knowing exactly where you stand in that territory, that is the absolute bedrock of doing impactful science.
Here's our roadmap for today. First up, why map your community in the first place? Next, defining your research focus. Then we'll sort through all that academic literature. And finally, building your academic network. Let's get going. Section 1. Why map your community? Exploring the uncharted territory. Treating your academic landscape as uncharted territory is really the first crucial step to understanding your own work. I mean, you can't possibly know the value of what you're building until you know what the rest of the neighborhood looks like. If you ever feel lost, just ask yourself these 4 fundamental questions. Which academic conferences are the main gathering grounds for my field? Which journals are publishing the actual needle-moving breakthroughs? What are the core theories dominating the current debate? And who are the heavy hitters, the really influential researchers in the domain? Answering those 4 questions, that instantly gives you your latitude, your longitude, and your key landmarks.
But quick reality check here. Mapping is absolutely a continuous, iterative process. There's no one-shot, standard way to do this. You don't just, sit down on a Tuesday, draw your map, and call it a day forever. Think about it. A single new breakthrough published tomorrow morning could completely shift the landscape of your entire field. It could turn a total fringe theory into the new gold standard overnight. It's a living, breathing loop. You learn as you go, so you update your map as you go.
Moving on to Section 2, defining your research focus and pinpointing your methodology. Now that you've got a feel for the general terrain, it's time to define your exact coordinates. Just saying you're in applied physics or something isn't going to cut it. To study the exact same scientific phenomenon, you might take a purely theoretical approach, or you might go experimental. And hey, if you go experimental, you have to choose between qualitative or quantitative methods. Every single one of these branches drops you into a slightly different neighborhood within your broader scientific community. Let's make this super concrete with an example directly from our source material. Let's say you're developing a detector for a specific subatomic particle. You've got to select your fitting gases, right? You might go with xenon, or maybe you choose argon. That one single methodological choice drastically changes the terrain you have to explore. Choosing xenon means dealing with completely different constraints, temperature requirements, and equipment than argon. Bam! You are now in a totally different neighborhood.
And that brings us to a golden rule. Your absolute priority is reading the articles that use the exact same methodology as your research. Aligning your focus directly with your methodology is what saves you from just wandering aimlessly into totally irrelevant territory. If you're building an argon detector, spending 3 weeks reading about the subtle nuances of xenon detectors might be scientifically fascinating, but it's pulling you completely off your map. Stick to your specific coordinates first.
Okay, Section 3, sorting the academic literature and classifying those papers.
Let's pause for a second and relieve some major anxiety. You do not have to read every single paper out there. Honestly, if you printed them all out, the physical weight of those unread PDFs would literally crush your desk. We've all felt that pressure to consume everything, but it's physically impossible and frankly a terrible strategy. Your job isn't to read everything. Your job is to classify the literature.
And you do this by being ruthless. You divide those papers into 2 distinct piles: essential papers and related papers. Essential papers are the ones strictly core to your specific research focus and your methodology. These are the ones you have to know inside and out, back to front. Related papers, they connect to your research, sure, but maybe they use a different methodology or look at a slightly different phenomenon. By ruthlessly dividing your findings into these 2 piles, the fog just lifts. You know exactly what needs deep study and what's just providing background context for the wider ecosystem. Finally, Section 4, building your academic network and discovering key researchers.
Here is a highly actionable 4-step blueprint for discovering your ecosystem. Step 1. Start local. Go visit nearby research centers and labs right at your own institution. Step 2. Put together a 10-year bibliography of your specific topic so you can see exactly who has been dominating the space recently. Step 3. From that bibliography, pinpoint the core journals where this specific community actually publishes. And Step 4. Go to the conferences tied to those journals and meet the authors in person. It is literally a step-by-step networking guide. Actually executing those steps? That reveals the human element of your map. It shows you exactly who is working on your topic and who holds the crucial information in your specific community. These influential researchers act as the essential landmarks on your academic map, because once you know who they are, you know whose work to track, whose labs to follow, and, let's be real, whose theories are probably going to be the ones peer-reviewing your future papers.
Knowing your community is understanding about your research itself. I really want to emphasize this. Mapping your community isn't just some networking chore or a box to check on your literature review. It directly benefits you because it clarifies the very essence of your own work. When you see exactly how your piece fits into this giant complex puzzle, you suddenly understand the shape and the true significance of your own piece so much better.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this challenge. What does your academic map look like? Are you intentionally drawing your borders, or are you just sort of wandering through the literature hoping you don't get lost? Define your methodology, sort your reading, and go meet the locals. The map is yours to draw. Thanks for exploring with us today, and I will catch you in the next explainer.